I've been addicted to platinuming trophies, and in today's video I platinumed Assassin's Creed Shadow, and surprisingly I actually enjoyed platinuming this game. There are a total of 55 trophies to collect including the platinum, 9 of which can be collected through the main story of the game, 5 of which can be collected through side quests and upgrades, and the rest, they will be collected through miscellaneous grinds and cleanup. My approach to platinum in the trophy was quite simple. First of all was to complete the story and do some side quests and try to do upgrades to spice things up a bit. Next, due to the seasons, do legendary summaries, then some cleanup and grind levels. I wanted to talk about the characters as they did something different compared to the other games. Firstly, we have Yasuke the samurai. Yasuke stands out immediately in Assassin's Creed Shadow, not because of who he is, but mainly because how you can play him. Unlike the traditional approach in Assassin's Creed, Yasuke is built for direct confrontation. He is stronger, more resilient, and far more effective in open combat. His abilities favour power over precision. Heavy attacks, armor-based survivability, and crowd control makes him ideal for situations where stealth isn't an option. Even though he lacks the agility and silent movement of the classic assassins, Yasuke still excels at breaking defense and handling multiple enemies head-on. The next character that we have that we're able to play is Naoe the Assassin. Naoe represents the classic playstyle in Assassin's Creed Shadow. She has eagle vision, which lets you track enemies through walls. This allows you to plan routes and strike without being seen. This is perfect for precision over power. She also has tools that are great for control and creativity. She has smoke bomb that creates instant escape. Kunai lets you eliminate targets silently from range, and she has traps to help you control enemy movement. When used together, her kits reward patience, planning, and clean execution, especially when they are fully upgraded. Naoe's grappling hook gives her complete vertical freedom. This lets her scale rooftops, reach hidden paths, and reposition quickly above enemies. We are first introduced to the game. A majestic eagle soars effortlessly above rugged cliffs and dense forests. Below is the breathtaking view of Feudal Japan. It is here where we are first introduced to Yasuke, who is accompanied with 2 priests in order to meet Nobunaga. They meet Nobunaga in order for allowing safe passage, but upon the meeting, Nobunaga has taken a keen interest into Yasuke and his ability of awareness. Oda grants the priests freedom to move freely as they wish, but in return, he asks for Yasuke to train him to become a samurai. Yasuke listens, weighing the weight of the offer, sensing both the challenge and the honor it carries. After careful consideration, Yasuke agrees to his request. We then fast forward 6 months later. At dawn, the horizon glows with fire and smoke as the enemy forces approach, signaling the beginning of a brutal invasion that will test courage, strategy, and bonds forged through months of relentless training. It is here where we start playing as Yasuke and we are introduced to basic controls. And here at the beginning is where you earn your first trophy, Adept Samurai. This is where you do a finisher as Yasuke to earn the trophy. Yasuke's segment ends when he bashes through the massive doors. His eyes burn with focus, unwavering as enemies scatters before him, and the room beyond is finally within his grasp. In that moment, Yasuke becomes an unstoppable force, a living storm of strength, skill, and resolve. Earlier that night, we switched to Naoe, and if it wasn't obvious already, it's Nobunaga that is invading her village.
Oda Nobunaga.
When she makes it down to the village and fights off any remaining enemies, her father introduces her to the Hidden Blade, in which she was not aware that she was from a line of assassins. He explains by using the Hidden Blade it opens a key to a cave, in which there is a box that she must protect with her life. From there is where we have control of Naoe and we start making our way to the cave up. Like with the previous trophy, we earn our second trophy, which is Adept Shinobi. This is where you perform your first assassination as Naoe. From the second trophy, I wanted to make sure that I maintained the assassin gameplay and the vibe that it was, by making sure that every enemy that I encountered whilst on my way to the coffin was dealt with in a stealthy manner. I wanted the true assassin gameplay. I made sure to be hidden and stay low when needed to be, and made sure to do the assassination when needed. Once I made my way to the coffin, we are then introduced with another cinematic of her opening the seal using the hidden blade that was given to her. It is here where she finds the box that her father mentioned to her that she must protect with her life. Upon her grabbing the box, it is here where she is then whacked in the face by a strong enemy, who then takes the box back to the base. After we regain consciousness, we slowly make our way to the base castle in order to retrieve the box back. It is here where we are introduced to the grappling hook to reach heights that we couldn't before. Once I infiltrated the base, I made sure to pop out that eagle vision to scan every enemy. It is here where I achieved the third trophy. This was unseen. This is where you needed to assassinate 5 enemies in a row without being seen or engaging in combat. We reached the end where we scan for the samurai that took the box. We then perform the coolest assassination ever on him, in which we quickly get the box and make an... Of course, it never goes as planned or that easy. Naoe is then shot down and the box is then dropped. It is here where we are introduced to a group of masked gang. It is these gang that took the box back. Since they have taken the box back, this is a typical Assassin's Creed game. We're more likely going to find out who these individuals are and assassinate each and every one of them. And this is where we earn our 4th trophy, which was to complete the prologue. After witnessing the death of her father, Naoe awakens and is greeted by Junjiro and Sorin. Sorin then briefs her on the growing tension throughout the village, and it is from here we take control of Naoe and we are free to roam. This is where the game truly opens up. Once we have control of Naoe for the first time, from here we are free to explore all of Feudal Japan at our own pace. I climb to the nearest viewpoint to reveal the map, uncover side activities and start tackling missions whenever ready. This is the moment where the platinum journey really begins. Every objective, every hidden path and every challenge is now in our hands. Whenever we're hunting trophies or just taking in the world, the adventure feels completely ours. Doing these viewpoints are my favourite, as we are introduced to the stunning scale of Feudal Japan, with mountains, peaceful village and towering castles stretching across the horizon. Synchronizing each viewpoint really takes in the beauty of the world that we're about to conquer, and this is what I enjoy the most. As I made my way tackling through Act 1, one of the main quests from Spark to Flame granted me access to the hideout, which granted me the 5th trophy, Soul Sanctum. One of the other features that they added in this Assassin's Creed game, which is different, was the scouting mission, where you go on the map and use one of the scouts to unlock a quest or whichever mission you're doing. Since we were at the hideout, I decided to do this trophy Everybody Benefits, which is to adopt a pet, and this can be from petting animals from the open world that we did. I explored around the hideout and I found this waterfall in which that you could go behind, and this is where I unlocked another trophy, which was Made You Look, and there was nothing inside. One of the main quests allowed you to meet Yaya, which is another trophy to unlock and part of the story mission, so it's unmissable. Upon meeting Yaya, I allowed her to join the league, which then unlocked another trophy. To let the people join, there are like choices in their decision in which you need to be really careful about in order to get the trophy. I did a bit of contracts and some castles, and from there I got quite a few resources, in which I decided to upgrade the hideout and pop another trophy. From doing missions and other quests, I got some legendary outfits and weapons, so I decided to equip it on everything, which gave me this trophy. One of the skills I had for Nawe was to assassinate behind shoji doors, so in this case I whispered to get him closer and assassinated through the door to get this trophy. This next trophy is where you need to go on the objective board, and for example in this one you need to complete all assassinations. Once you do one of that, you get this trophy, Mortal Reminder. There are 18 ringed quests which we'll need to do in order to get some skills and also to grind levels. I had Egan roll skill unlocked in Nawe's mastery, which allowed you to perform a landing roll when hitting the ground, which unlocked this trophy. For this one, swinging was easy to do, but when you had to do it twice in a row it can be limited, depending on the area. Luckily I found a hidden trail that allowed me to do this and to unlock this trophy. As I was doing a mix of main missions and some side quests and some exploration, I decided to continue on with Act 1 and to do the main missions, one of which was to locate Mitsuhide and to meet him at a castle. I managed to locate him using the scout mission and also the eagle vision as well when you're in the castle. Nawe meets Mitsuhide for the first time, and here is where the story takes a darker turn. He reveals his plan to overthrow Nobunaga and asks Nawe to carry out the assassination during an upcoming tea ceremony. He also explained how it was Lord Nobunaga's idea to have her father executed by one of the Shinbaku gang. This is an intense moment, not just because it's another mission, but it could change the fate of Japan. Nawe agrees, and we manage to make our way through, sneaking through the guards and making our way using stealth to find and locate Nobunaga. We end up battling Lord Nobunaga at this stage. To be honest, I wasn't expecting to fight him this early in the game. I was expecting towards the end. But using our skills we managed to take him down. But Yasuke intervenes the fight, stopping her from doing the final blow, and this is where he finds out how Nawe has the hidden blade, which means something special to him. After finding out how Mitsuhide was being manipulative and a liar, he also explained to Nawe how he also manipulated her as well. From this betrayal, Nobunaga realized that he was outnumbered and had no chance to escape, and rather than being captured, humiliated or killed by his enemy, he decided to do seppuku, which is a suicidal ritual. And that was the ending for Act 1, which means another trophy earned. This is another story related trophy, so it's unmissable as well. We move on to Act 2. Act 2 is a bit longer, but we have Yasuke. So I decided to get this trophy done, which was to do a leap of faith as Yasuke. While as Yasuke, there was one to do with doing the kata. So I did the first kata. This is a collectible, but to be honest, I don't really see it as a collectible, as you only need to do one to earn the trophy, and you don't really need to do all of it. This trophy was actually kind of funny because I was in the middle of doing a mission and I was engaged in a fight, and I had no idea what happened, but I think you had to parry a oncoming projectile to earn this trophy, in which I really had no clue about. While on one of my contract missions, I decided to get this trophy done, which was to shoot an enemy in the knee. So I decided to do this as Yasuke, as he's the only one who's able to do such thing. This trophy was one of my favorites because in the Assassin's Creed ones, I really love kicking enemies off the high cliff. So earning this trophy was kind of funny, and I really enjoyed kicking enemies off. It's just so funny. I saw on some of the weapons that you could add an engraving on it, but you need to go to the blacksmith. So I went to the hideout and found the blacksmith and put an engraving on just to see what it does and how it affects the gameplay. Kofun Raider was part of a mission, so I unlocked this trophy anyway, which was part of the story, so I would say this is an unmissable as well. As Act 2 consisted of mainly killing the Shinbaku, I decided to take a break from that and do some side quests. One of the side quests was the Ronin, so I unlocked this trophy. This next trophy I decided to fully upgrade Yahya just to see what her abilities are and how she can benefit and how it affects the gameplay, when she can be useful and all these things. I did another side quest because I wanted to explore more of Japan and the areas, and one of it consisted of meeting Katsuhime, which unlocked the trophy, the Sharpshooter. I was still exploring Japan and trying to do side quests and some activities to upgrade some level and abilities, and one of it was to meet the thief. Upon one of the missions, I earned one of the legendary gear, which earned me Limitless, which was to find a legendary piece of gear of each type. I unlocked a few tools from Naoe, so at this point I wanted to get one of the trophy done, which was to use the same bell on an enemy 3 times. They just looked lost, so this trophy was it was kind of funny to see. Upon one of Naoe's quests, it was one of the trails for her, so I ensured when the grappling hook is released, I made sure to jump when there is deep water beneath me to unlock this trophy, Acrobatic. I was at the point of Act 2 where I've done some missions of the main quest and some side quests regarding Naoe's story and Yasuke's story a bit. Whilst doing the missions for the Shinbaku, it's led to the assassinations for them, which were I like the fight for them as well. As you can, some of them you can pick as either Naoe or Yasuke. Some of them, like in this one, I decided to have Yaya with me because I needed to take out some extra enemies before killing the main Shinbaku person himself. And not all the Shinbaku led to assassination. Some of them you had the option to either spare or kill, like for this one, but I decided to spare her. After killing off some of the Shinbaku, I decided to do some of Yasuke's questline as I wanted to get to know more of his backstory and how he came about and what was his story about as well. With doing all these missions, killing off the Shinbaku, doing Naoe's questline and Yasuke's questline, with that we finished Act 2 and got the trophy. With Act 3 starting, we still had 2 more Shinbaku to take care of. I started off with Mitsuhide, and I really liked the battle in this one because we started off as Yasuke and then we transitioned into Naoe. This makes it kind of also a bit difficult as you had to adjust the playstyle with the two as they are different. With that, we faced the last of the Shinbaku. This character, I think we spare him. He wasn't really truly the evil Shinbaku that we knew of. I think he was just trying to just survive really, so that's why we spare him. And with that, the whole of the Shinbaku is defeated. Now that the whole Shinbaku is defeated, we unlock this trophy, Death Blossom. But that doesn't mean that Act 3 is completed. We still have to continue with Yasuke and Naoe's questline in order to continue Act 3. I was trying to do some cleanup as well, trying to upgrade rations, and coincidentally I unlocked Pathfinder, which was to visit every district in Japan. Whilst I was doing one of the missions, which was to collect some local dishes, I was able to fully upgrade rations from this. This one was a bit of a procedure as you needed to do a few things before you're able to fully upgrade your rations. With that, as it fully upgrades my rations, I got Collector Trophy, which was to fully complete a collection. There was other collections that needed to be done, like flags and drawings, but this one was easier to do as it was part of a mission. I wanted to get some of the miscellaneous as well out the way, and this was an easy trophy to get, which was to add a sumei from into the hideout. This was done by one of the drawings that I did as Naoe. After doing a few of those, like fully upgrading the rations and doing some miscellaneous trophies, I decided to continue on with the main quest and to finish off Act 3. I did Naoe's one first, which was to find out her background and what the Iki stood for, and clues about it. And part of Yasuke's quest was also to defeat Kai. I also like this fight as well because it transitions from being into an indoor place and then he takes the fight outside, which is what I really liked. With the Shinbaku fully defeated and some of Naoe and Yasuke's quests completed, Act 3 was now done. In the epilogue, Naoe's role shifts from assassin to guardian. She returns the dangerous Isu artifact, which is the box, to the hidden underground vault. In doing so, she chooses to seal it rather than to use it or destroy it. By choosing to put the box back and knowing what she knows about the clues that she found about the Iki and what her mother and what it represents, she removes a source of corruption and power and staying true to the Assassin Creed, protecting freedom. Yasuke's questline also finishes by confronting and defeating Nunukaro, a man who represents exploitation, manipulation and the misuse of faith and foreign power. By defeating him, Yasuke rejects being used as a symbol or a weapon by others. His ending signifies reclaiming agency and identity and choosing honor on his own terms. And with that, the epilogue is completed, meaning the whole game is done. All the main quests is done. Now it's just time for the cleanup, sumei, and grind to get the remaining trophies for that platinum. I started off by getting some of the small trophies out the way, so I did the one where you had to escape conflict by using the breathing reed to hide in shallow water. The skill was done by obtaining one of her mastery for it to do this trophy. I still had some areas on the map that was still covered and clouded, so I slowly made my way by doing these viewpoints. Coincidentally, this last viewpoint that I needed was the happy place, which was to reach the highest point of Japan. As I was trying to uncover areas of the map, I slowly made my way to the question marks and found some of these Kujikiris in which I needed for one of the trophy. The first few Kujikiri moments are not in the present, they are flashback, echoes of Naoe before the invasion, before everything was taken from her. These rituals, she finds balance, discipline and lesson learned in a quieter time. Once I did the final Kujikiri completed, the journey comes to a full circle. Mastery achieved, balance restored, and the trophy unlocks as proof of discipline and dedication, another step closer to that platinum trophy. This next trophy was a tournament trophy. Personally, I use Yasuke because of he had heavier attacks and because of how his ability were. It was just easier to do these tournament trophies. His strength changes the flow of every fight. Heavy strikes break through defense while his abilities turn pressure into opportunity. Each opponent is faced head-on using force, not recklessly but deliberately. Also, utilizing his abilities as well is what also helped make this beating the opponents more better and easy, as each opponent had different weapons, varying from sword, spear, the big hammer and katanas. For these reasons, having Yasuke to do these opponent in the tournament really made this trophy easy to achieve. I was exploring around Wakasa region when I came across one of the quests, which in turn led to this trophy, the Toxin Master. It was at this point I was doing a mix of side quests in order to try level up, and also I had some of these trophies where you needed to meet specific people, so some of these trophies were earned through that way. The next trophy was the Unstoppable Trophy, which was earned through relentless focus and precision. Every strike, every counter, every move builds momentum, in which I was able to do before performing a finisher on an enemy by using Samurai Stand. This one took a few attempts, but it wasn't too bad, but you needed to perform a finisher on an enemy that is both dazed and poisoned. It only took a few tries because either daze went off quickly or poison took too long to build. This next trophy, Would You Kindly, required you to do a contract in each region, and I only picked the contract that was to destroy an item or destroy a loot, something simple as that in each area, which made it quicker to get the trophy. Giant Slayer took a bit of attempt as you needed to assassinate a guardian in one attack, so they need to be fully assassinated there and then, no health or anything, and I think there was a setting to do instant assassination which helped. I got confused with this trophy in terms of how to see through a weapon, but for this I needed a bleed weapon and to see through my weapon immediately after the enemy dies from bleed. I kept thinking you needed to press the touchpad when it was actually one of the arrow buttons. Art of Ninjutsu is where I needed to get all of the abilities in the Shinobi section. You only need to do one of the phases, you don't need to get a complete version of it, so that's where I did a bit of level grinding, gained skills, and I was able to do this. The same goes for the Art of Kenjutsu, which was for Yasuke's version of Samurai. As I was doing the quests, and some of the quests were seasonal, so as some of the quests were seasonal, so were the sumeis. So from this, if there were some done in winter, I made sure to do the quest in winter and to do this. Doing the legendary sumeis were interesting, like for example the deer and the wolf with the four tails, they were quite interesting. They were like something from an anime, but I kind of wish they had more mythical creatures that to make it more legendary and more worth finding. The last trophy I needed was to max out tools and ammunitions. At this point I finished all the quests and everything, so it was kind of a bit difficult to try level up. So I decided to do these castles and defeat these daisho and to take the treasure. In this way I was able to get the level that I needed, and depending on the area as well. Some needed 2 to kill, some needed 3. I just looked at how much level I needed in order to level up, and I just did slowly worked my way through purchasing the ammunition upgrade, fully upgrading that, and the tools from Naoe and Yasuke's abilities. This was a bit of a grind as I mostly put the points into the samurai or assassin abilities and not too much into the ammunition, only just for the increase the amount. That was pretty much it. And with that I achieved that last trophy needed to get the platinum. And that beautiful platinum trophy showed up straight after. Overall, I quite enjoyed Assassin's Creed Shadows. I would give the gameplay an 8 out of 10, and for the platinum for it, an 8 out of 10 as well. It wasn't too bad achieving the platinum, and the gameplay was just as enjoyable. There was always something to do and activities as well to do to keep you fully engaged and immersed into the game, as well as discovering areas of Japan and exploring these beautiful viewpoints to look at the stunning scenery that it had. The only issue that I had, well, it's not too much of an issue, it was just of annoyance and an inconvenience that most of these synchronized viewpoints were in enemy territory. So you can get in, but you can't get out unless you get out the enemy area or go climb your way back up into the viewpoint area to be able to fast travel out. If you enjoyed the video so far, please leave a like, subscribe for more videos coming up on Platinum Journeys, and also leave a comment on Assassin's Creed Shadow and how your experience was.